Welcome to Inside Blockchain Podcast. My name is Tony Obiajuru, but you can call me Tony Talks. What I intend to achieve with this podcast is to help you make sense of the blockchain industry and how this amazing technology is redefining work, setting new paradigm shifts in businesses, and helping to reshape societal interaction. I bring you Inside Blockchain Podcast, the most intellectual source of discourse with industry leaders and enthusiasts. Now here's just a brief disclaimer. All opinions shared by our guests on this podcast are exclusively their own opinions. They do not suggest investment recommendations of their companies. Neither should you take this information as an investment advice, as you are solely responsible for your own investments. This series is designed to help you understand the transition from money to digital currency and cryptocurrency. And my guest today is Tola Joseph. He is the founder of Crypto Masterclass. And the topic today is money and digital currency evolution. Now here's just a brief. Crypto Masterclass started as a business name 2 years ago and is now a limited liability company. You know what that means. And in case you're wondering why Tola, he has successfully trained over 500 people offline and in their thousands on several communities online on what cryptocurrency is. And in case you don't know, he was recently featured on TVC. Who else to do justice on the topic than Tola? Hello, Tola. How are you? Thank you for joining me on the show.
Fine, thank you.
Okay, so we are looking at money and digital currency evolution. All right, so we want to help people understand the transition, because so many people are finding it difficult. So briefly, can you help us understand the transition from money to digital currency and cryptocurrency?
All right. We must understand that money itself is not a physical entity we see or we use. Rather, money is an agreement. And I will start by, going back to the origin of how money was.
Okay.
In those days, there was nothing you can point to as money. People use mere commodities for an agreement.
Okay.
For instance, you may have a pint of rice. I could have a plate of beans. I could need rice, you may need beans. So the moment we agree to swap those items, then a transaction would occur, right? Mm. So that transaction is the money, that agreement that both of us, have decided to carry on is the money there. So money itself is an agreement. From that point, it began to get even better in the sense that if you stay somewhere here in Lagos, and you need, let's say, a cow, you have a commodity to swap with. You don't want to start going to Kaduna to swap for a cow and bring the cow back. Back in those days, it was very difficult. Mm-hmm. So an item was put in place to stand as the agreement that, hey, you can take this item to any part of either the country or the world to swap, to transact, to agree with for a commodity. You understand? Yeah. So, and that is when, cowries were introduced. I would like to break this very quickly. Mm-hmm. From cowries, you have precious stones and all that.
Okay, so first, we must understand that money is not tangible but intangible. Or it was intangible in the sense that people could not actually get to touch it or feel it.
Yes,
it is an agreement.
It is an agreement because you can't touch it.
Okay.
You can't touch it. So it is only an agreement. And you see, the digital currency revolution we are into is actually bringing back what money was, but in a well-redefined manner. But I will go back to that. Okay. So from what money was as an agreement, then something was tangible in place that stands as a rep that represents money. It is not money. It's only representing the agreement in our mind.
Okay.
right? So it moved to precious stones, to silver, to coin, to paper money, gold, and all that. So paper money dominated for a very long time. And I can tell you that right now, the dominance is fading away.
Gradually.
I will tell people that this money we all are talking about, that people are even killing themselves for, it is fading away because it is going digital. That agreement is now going digital in the sense that people are, getting involved in businesses, their marital life. Digitally, they are having a digital agreement even before they see themselves. Some could have even agreed to get married. So when the guy come from any part of the world and meets the lady offline, they can both, go just proceed to the parent that they want to marry because there is this online agreement that they want to get married. So seeing themselves is not a big deal anymore. So this money we're talking about, this paper currency, would only be used for, maybe by market women. You want to buy tomatoes, want to buy Maggi, but it won't be used for bulk transactions. If you want to order a car from Germany, you just go online, you pay digitally. Of course, I'm very sure that you shop online.
Yeah, definitely.
I have been shopping on Jumia since inception, and I can't even remember. In fact, I have not paid them with physical cash, either online or offline. If I choose, then you could actually pay on delivery. I pay with my card, I swap. So which means the money I'm even paying, the agent can't touch it. The moment the machine prints out a receipt, it becomes an agreement that a transaction has occurred. So which means, so at that point, that is to tell you that the 100 naira, the 1,000 naira, they are only fancy paper. You cut down trees, you shape them, you just print. It is not money, it is an agreement.
Fantastic. Okay, so yes, we are understanding the fact that money has actually moved, okay, from that place where it is, what do we call it now? Is it infinite or intangible to now being tangible? But this time around, it's not something you can actually get to touch, you can actually get to see, but it goes online. Great. Now let's come to digital currency, which is now the digital money world, and cryptocurrency.
Okay.
So how can people successfully transition? Because so many people are finding it difficult to get themselves to understand how this thing works. So first, what is digital currency and what is cryptocurrency? Okay.
Actually, digital currency is the representation of fiat currency digitally. You can even say digital fiat.
Okay.
For instance, the money you have in your bank right now is a digital currency, and you can get that out if you want as a tangible money. You can get that out either via your bank or via an ATM port. You can get that out because that is a digital currency, and you can get the fiat out if you want. But for cryptocurrency, it is not represented by any digital fiat. It only exists as a digital entity. And the word crypto means it is secured, cryptocurrency. Digital currency is merely a derivative of paper money, while cryptocurrency is not. Digital currency is obliged by the banks and the government. Cryptocurrency is not. So there are two different things. Bitcoin, for instance, is a cryptocurrency. The money you have in your bank right now that you can send to me without you giving me any form of paper is digital currency. So there are two different things.
Okay, so digital currencies are currencies that if you want to get the paper equivalent, you can.
Of course.
While cryptocurrencies are currencies that have to do with numbers, digits,
yes,
and,
algorithm and all that.
Okay, algorithm and all that. So we'll come to that. Now, let's look at what makes digital currency so unique. Cryptocurrency so unique than digital currency.
All right. Digital currency, you can't actually tell the numbers in circulation. And I'm very sorry to say this. That is what makes it a fraud. Yes, in the sense that this government we are talking about, we look onto them to solve so many problems, security and all that. They print money. They oblige the digital currency, and yet there is poverty sweeping all over the world, not only in Nigeria, all over the world. Just, I mean,
statistics
yes.
would show.
So, your question again, please.
What makes cryptocurrency more unique?
All right.
Special than digital currency?
Digital currency, like I said earlier, you can't tell the numbers. So it is being minted with no limit, and its value always depreciates in the sense that there is no limit in supply.
Okay.
Why cryptocurrency always has a limited supply, and you can see it via an open platform called the blockchain. Block means a stored record of transactions in chains, which means they are linked to one another.
Okay.
So they are finite, which means digital currencies have limited number of supply. And you can actually see what is going on. You can tell that, hey, Bitcoin has 21 million units. You can see the number of circulation at the moment. You can even see the new generated Bitcoin via a process called mining by confirming transactions. Okay. And you can see whatever mining pool that relays such block. We have Slush Pool, Ant Pool, BitClub Network, and all that. You can see them. You can see that, hey, by your own calculation, you can tell that mining would stop in year 2140. You don't need to be told. It is there. It is open. Yeah, you can verify.
You can't access this information when it comes to digital currency.
You can't, because it is a closed network. Okay, if I'm to ask you, how many 1,000 naira note do we have in Nigeria? Nobody can tell, not even the CBN. No one can tell.
Yeah.
You understand? So, and that is what makes the value, like, you can't bank on the value. You can't bet on it. It will always go down. 1 million naira 10 years ago. In fact, I'm even going too far. My dad said the first car he bought in 1976 was less than 10,000 naira.
Wow.
With 10K right now, what can you buy?
What can you buy?
You fuel your car. Why?
It depends on the car self. Some car will never take 10,000.
Will take 10K. So you understand? Yeah. But for digital currency, for cryptocurrency, they are finite in supply, and you can use them as a commodity. If you have Ether, you need Bitcoin, we could swap.
Okay.
You can use them as currency. For instance, on Amazon. Okay. On Amazon, okay, you can actually get mining gadgets on Amazon. But there are some platforms like Namecheap, where you can buy a domain name, Tony.com. You can pay in Bitcoin.
Wow.
So many platforms and all that. So, and this cryptocurrency we're talking about are also tradeable, which means if you have $100 worth of Bitcoin, you can decide what rate you want to sell.
Okay.
You can, if anyone wants to sell to you, you can decide on what rates to buy. And this makes it, gain more value over time. Bitcoin, the initial value of Bitcoin was less than 2 kobo. Right now, despite the high volatility, it is still almost 4 million naira for one Bitcoin. And in the future, let me just say in the future, we'll be saying one Bitcoin is worth 100 million naira. It is there because this market is, performing the opposite of fiat. Fiat is meant to trend down, while cryptocurrency is meant to trend up. Despite the volatility, it's meant to trend up.
Okay. Thank you so much, Tola. Now let's look at cryptocurrencies now, because now are you saying that with cryptocurrencies we can still perform the same functions that we carry out as human beings using our normal traditional currency, which is the fiat? Like I can buy anything using cryptocurrency. I can even pay for a commodity online using cryptocurrency. You just mentioned Amazon. So away from just these little examples, can cryptocurrency perfectly replace money and its function?
All right, to go straight to that, cryptocurrency won't replace fiat currency. That's just a fact. Okay. Fiat currency, they would only complement cryptocurrency. They won't replace. But I'm glad to tell you that whether we like it or not, the government of nations will start to produce their own stable coin. Like we have USD, Tether, PAS and all that. But let me tell you, cryptocurrency is on a different pathway. Fiat currency on a different pathway. However, fiat will be there to complement cryptocurrency. It won't replace it. It won't. There are so many people that are not tech savvy. There are people that, I mean, if you want to enter from Ikeja to Oshodi, that driver is telling you Oshodi. He will say, "Oh, guy, you accept Bitcoin." He will see you as, are you normal?
So we say those people that would actually, or those people that cryptocurrencies are meant for are tech savvies. Is that what you're saying?
Of course.
People that are technologically inclined.
Inclined, yes, of course. Okay. And although you can teach a market woman how to use cryptocurrency, I mean, you can see them using smartphones these days, some are on WhatsApp. Okay. You understand? But the fact remains that it won't, cryptocurrency won't completely replace fiat currency. However, it is already taking dominance from it. Like I said earlier, for bulk volume of transactions, no one uses fiat currency across borders. I'm telling you the fact. I was called 2 days ago. Someone wants to send money from Australia to Nigeria. And the only way they could do that is to send via Bitcoin.
Okay.
You understand? Because if they have to send using fiat, the delay, the charges are just insane. So they want to use Bitcoin, which is scalable, very fast, and they get their fiat in naira instantly. So that is what cryptocurrency will do, but it won't replace completely.
It won't replace the
fiat currency. If any cryptocurrency would replace fiat currency completely, it has to be stable coin that is offered by the government. Because there is no way, whether we like it or not, government is so powerful. There is no way we can only try to, scare them with some things, but they still own the human capacity.
Regulation.
They own the regulation, they own...
Regulation will always be.
Will always be. The power is there and the power will always be. So there's no way we can kick government. There has to be a government. And government has to operate with its own set of rules, including its own currency. So you can't replace that. You just can't.
All right. Before I let you go, Tola, so we're actually coming towards the end of this particular podcast series. So how do you help somebody, or how do you've taught over 500 people. So how do you explain to somebody to use cryptocurrency? How does it work? Like, I want to be part of this and I want to start using cryptocurrency. So what's the process?
Okay, there are thousands of cryptocurrencies out there, and there are so many scam currencies out there. So
you would help me differentiate them later on.
When people come to me that they want to learn about Bitcoin or about cryptocurrency, what I always tell them for a start is that, hey, don't come with that mantra of cash in quick, cash out fast. You will be depressed in the sense that, like I said earlier, Bitcoin is volatile. You could get Bitcoin of $10,000. In the next 1 hour, it is back to $9,000. Mm-hmm. So what I tell them is to get Bitcoin first. And I always recommend a lower value so that they will understand the price action. And I tell them, even if it is 2 to 3 times in a day, just check. Stay on the app for a while. See how
it works.
The amount of your Bitcoin changes. So some will ask me, okay, what is actually happening? I tell them, hey, this particular digital currency, cryptocurrency you have, it is actually being traded on several markets. And I will show them. They will be like, whoa.
Okay.
And also, when they get their first Bitcoin, I always ensure that they back up their wallet.
Yeah, for scams.
Yes, for fraud, to always back up their wallet. And I also ensure that they don't use centralized wallet to store their Bitcoin.
Okay.
Now, let me tell you what happened to myself this morning. I have been holding SRP for over 2 years. So someone wanted to sell SRP to me.
That's Ripple.
Ripple, yes.
For the benefit of those that
someone wanted to sell SRP for me.
Okay.
And the guy was like, okay, your wallet. Like, okay, let me just copy from my GitHub. GitHub is actually a centralized wallet. But I was like, okay, I have my Google Authenticator. Mm-hmm. So no problem. only for me to discover that my SRP was moved 10 days ago. Although GitHub announced that they have security
issues.
Yes, issues.
Okay.
And I was checking, the money was there. Even right now, I'm still not happy. You understand?
It has moved. Wow.
It has moved. So it is a centralized wallet.
That's security. One part of security
yes,
about cryptocurrencies.
And people still don't know this. They are as a first timer, you don't want to store your Bitcoin on a centralized wallet. Now let me tell you what that means. It means that you are committing your fund to another man's care. Okay. Without a form of insurance. Now, if anything happens to your bank is insured. You could get your money back. Okay. But if you give your money to Babalajo on the street, and
you will just hear that he has
traveled. Your money is gone. There is no security. There's no insurance. So that is how a centralized wallet works. But for first timer, I always engage them to use a decentralized wallet, like the blockchain wallet itself. So that's
like an example of a decentralized wallet.
Yes.
There are also other decentralized wallets
of course
that people can use.
Of course. Like for Ether, if you want to store Ether or ERC20 tokens, you can use Trust Wallet.
Trust Wallet, yeah, I know about that one too.
MetaMask and all that, Ledger Nano and all, even Paper Wallet. People are always sure that you can actually store Bitcoin on a piece of paper or other cryptocurrencies. You see, this tech is very interesting, and of course you can. So I get them involved with Bitcoin and their wallet security, and I also engage them to watch the price actions.
All right. Thank you so much. Now let's come back to, we understand that we have over 1,000 cryptocurrencies out there. And in our next series, we are going to be looking at these cryptocurrencies one by one.
Okay.
But at the foundational level, how do you detect a trusted cryptocurrency from, or how do you separate a good cryptocurrency from
a bad one? All right. Many people in the crypto space, many experts, they don't always prefer pre-mined coins or pre-mined tokens. Maybe I should explain that in our next episode.
No problem.
All right. Now, for you to differentiate, the very important thing is that you must understand the use case or the use cases, and you must also understand or find out that the coin you are about to buy is liquid, like you can actually sell. Many people are still believing in some shit coins without no market. Now, let me ask you a question. If this phone costs 100,000 naira, okay. So what makes it 100,000 naira? What makes it 100,000 naira?
You can say the quality of the phone.
Okay. So what if you are selling for 100K and no one is buying? So now, what makes that phone 100,000 is because a buyer is interested. If you are selling for 100K and there is no liquidity for that phone, then the phone is useless.
It's useless.
Same way you can't sell sand to, you can't sell water to fish because for fish in the ocean, water is useless to eat. So you can't, before you can say a phone is worth 100,000, it means someone is willing to buy, to provide. So there are so many coins out there that people think that will make them rich, whereas there is no liquidity, there is no market for it. So you must understand that this altcoin, which is alternative cryptocurrency I'm about to buy, as market, as liquidity. If I need money in a hurry, I can get it out. Not some coins without even blockchain. I don't want to mention names. Okay. We've read story that their creator are being chased in some part of the world. They don't have their own blockchain. They don't have any market. They are just figures on accounts back office. You can't even see it. But people don't know. So before you get involved in any form of currency,
cryptocurrency,
know the good from bad ones. Ensure that it is liquid. You can get fiat. Like I said earlier, fiat would always be there to complement cryptocurrency. So ensure that it is liquid. Understand the use case of that coin. Because if there is no use case, there will be demand for it. if your Samsung or your iPhone does not have any use case to benefit you, then why should you buy it? Why don't you stick with Nokia 3310? But you understand that?
Yeah, yes. All right. Finally, on the final note, you mentioned the volatility of cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
The fact that the price goes up and it comes down.
Yeah.
Is there an explanation for this? What triggers the increase and the decrease in price?
Okay, so many factors, and it is nothing new. So many factors such as bad news.
Bad news.
Yes, bad news.
How do you mean?
Okay. Sometimes ago, the CEO of a Canadian exchange died. And for bad education, people that don't understand what cryptocurrency is or what Bitcoin is were spreading rumor that the CEO of Bitcoin had died. In fact, many were asking me, sorry, I hope you're not affected. I'm just laughing. Now, even though that news may not really affect the market generally, but you know that new Bitcoin investors with bad education, they were selling off cheaply. What they have to sell for maybe like $355 per dollar, they were selling for $300, $315 per dollar.
Down below.
They were selling because of bad news. Now, there are times that even bad news would affect the crypto market generally. And I will set an example. Last year, it was bear market throughout the year, all year long. The CEO of BitMEX was chanting Bitcoin to $2,000. And these are people that have, huge followers that when they make a tweet, in the next 5 minutes, you are seeing thousands of retweets, comments, and all that. So they are trying to play with the mind of people. They're trying to play on their intelligence. So bad news could affect the market. And in that case, it makes it extremely volatile in the sense that people will start selling off to get out fiat. Fiat would always be a complement to cryptocurrency. So they will selling out. And meanwhile, those that understand this market, like people like us, will like to buy that time. Just like Robert Kiyosaki said, he said the love crashes. You can get 50% off, which is very interesting. So if you are looking to buy Bitcoin, Bitcoin is 7 million, I can't buy now. And Bitcoin is down to around 1M, then you can buy. Because those selling don't even understand that, hey, this is just market conditions. It happens even in our local market. Sometimes tomatoes will be surplus that you don't even want to eat.
Sometimes
and sometimes you can't even get
so scarce that they will give you 2 seeds for 100 naira.
You understand? So that is it. Now, there are times that people will be like, what is happening? Bitcoin from 5,100 to 14,000 in less than 1 month. What happened? Good news, fundamentals. Oh, block halving is on the way. Hey, a particular government just said they will use Bitcoin as a store of value. Hey, a particular country is saying they will be taxing their citizens in Bitcoin.
Another example of the case you mentioned is the statement, should I call it the negative statement that was made about Bitcoin by the US president, and as well as all that has been happening with the Libra project, that is Facebook's cryptocurrency. All right, Tola, thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Inside Blockchain Podcast. I really appreciate. All right, then, visit us at Crypto TV Plus for news updates, trends, sources, and links. You can as well find us on social media platforms at Crypto TV Plus. Check out our videos on YouTube and make sure you don't forget to hit the like as well as the subscribe button. To follow through on the Inside Blockchain Podcast, make sure you visit cryptopodcast.live and share your comments with us. Till I come your way next time, I remain your host, Tony Obiajuru. It's a bye for now.